Russ on Flowers. I'm your host, Russ. I want to put a quick shout out to Steve. Last show we had Steve on. He had returned from Africa and he had brought his giraffe home. And unfortunately the giraffe was impounded this week. And so Steve got really mad and he was at Lalo's for like 3 days. And so we finally captured Steve, got him back on the set. He's been depressing and sulking ever since, missing his giraffe. Been trying to get her out of the pound, but it's been no good. So we're hoping Steve feels a little bit better. He's been down for the count for a few days. Last week we spoke about vasing. We used large vase to talk about how to place we had brought in 6 bunches of flowers, created this arrangement, and obviously, you know, this has a select few places that it can go and fit into an environment of where flowers are used. One not being your dining room table, right, unless you're doing a buffet style. And we had a ton of flowers left over, okay? So really quick to summarize, last week we had $40 worth of flowers. We were able to make this arrangement, use the cutlings to do something smaller, okay? We're going to show you today, and we're going to use another bubble bowl, which is a 6-inch bubble bowl, which can be placed on a dining room table or at an event such as a wedding, placed on a head table. And we're going to get designing those and show you how you can buy 6 bunches of flowers for around $40 plus shipping on Russ on Flowers, and be able to create an arrangement like this and then create these bubble bowls that we're going to be designing for you today. Again, I'm going to do freehand. And so we're going to go through again how we're going to use freehand, how the flower is going to be used, and freehand style, okay? So we're not going to be doing any gridding. I think it's an easier style. We talked about it last show. If you have questions, resort back to the last show and revisit some of the ways we were doing that if you have questions from this week. Okay, you're looking at the flowers that were left from last week. We hydrated them. As you can see, they're still looking great. And we're going to use those flowers to create this bubble bowl arrangement, okay? We're not going to be stealing any flowers out of the existing stuff that we did from last week to show you the value that you're getting from the purchase of Russ on Flowers, not to mention the style of arrangements that you can be doing with such a high grade of flowers. You're talking about Asiatic lilies, high grade, right? These aren't inexpensive flowers. And so we're going to move forward. We're going to start to do some freehand arranging with these flowers, and we're going to show you how this all can fit into the map of an event or a gathering at your house, you know, because you know, as you buy flowers from Russ on Flowers, the more you buy, the better the deal you get. And you're going to need to create an assortment in order to have the right style of arrangement in a lot of occasions, right? You're not just going to be able to use a single type of flower to get the need out of the flower that you want. And so you're going to have to buy multiple different types of bunches, all right? And in order to do that, you're going to be buying more bulk. And so we're here today to try to tell you about where they can be used and how they can be used, and to still have that savings. And so you're not just spending $75 on one arrangement, you're spending $40 and you're getting 3 or 4 or 5 arrangements out of that, okay? So here we are, we're starting to design the bubble bowls. 6-inch bubble bowl. Starting with larkspur. Again, this is your line flower. So what's cool about that is it has all these little stems that come off, okay, and we can use all these. So you want to make sure that you're using all the product off each one of the stems. These are little buds. They'll never open, but they do give it some character. So we're going to strip these, and so we're not going to be able to use all this stuff, right? So we're going to have to strip these down, but we're going to be removing these side buds because, like I said, it gives it a lot of character, all right? Remember, this is called larkspur. It's always used as a line flower. It can be used as a focal flower in that if you use it by itself in a tall vase, it has really a nice look to it, right? It's very simple and very elegant, and it's inexpensive. And so if you want to just use that as a design element in the house, just as a single, a lot of times you'll see it at concierge desks, right? Just a single type of flower. It's an awesome flower to use, right? So you're going to start with your line, right? Move to your form, stock again, some trichilium, and you're just going to start moving it around. You can break off the wax flower. You're not going to need, these are big bunches, so you're not going to need the bulk. You'll see why when as we're using this bowl. You got your focals, which is your Asiatic lilies, yellow. It's kind of a monochromatic design. Whoops. All right, so you're going to continue to turn it, same as if it was you were creating a bouquet, right? So if you guys are doing presentation bouquets for your children or for your graduates, wrap this in some raffia, strip the stems, put some ribbon around it, and guess what? You have a presentation bouquet. Or you got a large arrangement, you cut it down, all of a sudden you have an arrangement for the table. All kinds of uses. Right? We don't want any of the greens to cover up the flowers. Biggest pet peeve of mine, covering money. Right? We want the money to be seen. You're spending the money on the flowers, not so much on the greens, right? They're the lesser expensive of the whole boat. So we don't want to cover up our flowers with our greens. Now remember, I took these stems off the larkspur. Here they are. So kind of add kind of a neat look there. We'll just continue to add those in here and there.